welcome. So here I am. We'll be doing criticism using the MARXISM and archetypal criticism for the story titled Rashomon by Ryunosuke Akutagawa. Today we're delving into the fascinating world of literature and taking a closer look at the Rashomon by Ryunosuke Akutagawa through a Marxist lens. It is intriguing and interesting because this story caught my attention really. Actually, the book of Ryunosuke, the Rashomon, consists of different stories or perspectives of witnesses, to be exact. Now, we're going to delve into one of the stories inside the book, which is also titled Rashomon, but with the O slash. So, what is Rashomon? Rashomon is a Japanese term meaning dispute, finding its roots in the legend of Rashomon, an ancient gate in Kyoto in 12th century Japan. This legendary tale comes in three conflicting versions, adding intrigue to its narrative. Initially recounted by Akutagawa in a short story titled Rashōmon, it later underwent adaptation into a film by Kurosawa around 1950s, I think, if I'm not wrong. The essence of the term and the legend itself embodies the complexities and contradictions that weave through both Akutagawa's written work and Kurosawa's cinematic interpretation. So as we delve into the story's plot, we'll be doing a Marxist criticism along the way. So now, the first thing that caught my eye was the depiction of the class struggle in Rashomon. So here in the exposition part of the plot of the story, there's a servant losing his job due to the city's decline, and it is when his master, a samurai, fired him or something. It's a direct hit on the vulnerability of the lower class struggle during tough times. It's almost like Akutagawa is holding a mirror to society, showing how economic forces impact individuals differently. And also, next up, the economic desperation. The servant contemplating turning to thievery. So actually in the story, the servant is actually thinking about himself if I will be going to be a thief and rob someone or someone's property in order for me to survive. So it's a powerful moment that resonates with Marxist ideas. It's like the story is shouting like, hey, economic factors influence our actions. The struggle for survival takes center stage, and you can't help but feel the weight of the societal decline. And now, let's talk about the Rashomon gate. Now, in the story, the servant in hunger is waiting for the rain to stop while under the shed of the Rashomon gate. During that time, the Rashomon once grand and majestic, but now a symbol of social decay. Sounds familiar? That's because it mirrors the economic downturn in the city. The gate's decline parallels the rise in economic inequality, turning it into a hotspot for thieves and grim reminder of societal consequences. Now, moving on to exploitation, we'll talk about the word exploitations. When we meet an old woman in the story, which is making wigs from the hair of the dead just to survive, it's heartbreaking, right? If you just know the story or if you read the story, it's heartbreaking how the old woman got into that point when she becomes the face of the exploited lower class. Akutagawa thrusts us into morally gray territory, showing how economic systems can force people into desperate actions for survival. And also hold on tight because we're talking about now the power dynamics. In the story, when the servant unsheathed his sword and asked the old woman to stop her immorality of robbing from the dead, she reasoned out that it is necessary for her to survive. The servant turns the tables by asking the old woman. Here's the interesting part when the servant told the old woman or asked the old woman about this. So you wouldn't mind if I rob you? I'd die if I didn't. So all of a sudden the old woman is just stunned. He then took the old woman's kimono and ran away. It's a shift in power. If you can observe, it's a shift in power, showcasing how economic desperation can flip roles in society. The formerly exploited becomes the exploiter, revealing the fluidity of power structures during societal stress. Wow. So wrapping up, wrapping it up, Akutagawa uses the character's struggles to give us a peek into the broader socio-economic issues of his time. It's like he's saying, look, these calamities aren't just random, they're reflections of economic impacts on society. The story becomes a lens for the author to critique how economic forces weave into the fabric of our lives. Now, and there you have it, folks. Rashomon isn't just a story, it's a powerful social commentary. Akutagawa, with his keen eye, takes us on a journey through the intricate web of class struggles, economic desperations, and power shifts. So, what are your thoughts on the Marxist analysis? Let me know in the comments below. So, next up will be the archetypal criticism for this story, Rashōmon. So, archetypes, right? Think of them like those universal story patterns that keep popping up everywhere. Now, Rashōmon isn't just a cool word, it's like a gateway to a world filled with archetypal goodness. Now, before we dive into the story, let's rewind a bit. Rashomon is more than just a dispute. It's this legendary gate in Kyoto with a tale that's like a game of telephone gone wild. Now, the three versions all contradicting each other. It's like, what's the real deal? So Akutagawa spills the tea on this in his short story. Now let's talk about this powerful archetype of a deteriorating gate. It's not just any gate, it's a Rashomon gate in Kyoto. Once grand, now in shambles, and it's shouting something bigger about societal decline. It's like a universal language, transcending cultures. This concept? It's like a cousin to the Greek mythology vibe, especially the ages of man. Now, Hesiod, the ancient Greek storyteller, spilled the tea of the ages of man. If you've known about the story, it's a good story, actually. The gold, silver, bronze, heroic, and iron, those are the ages of man. Now, picture this, a gradual decline in humanity's moral and physical qualities over time. Now, connect the dots to Rashomon. For example, here, in Gold Age, in Greece, it was all about an ideal society living in harmony with gods during the Golden Age. Fast forward to Kyoto's history, the construction of Rashomon in 789, it mirrors a golden era when Kyoto became the capital of Japan. Coincidence? I think not. Now here in subsequent ages, as the ages of man roll on, virtue and prosperity take a nosedive. Sounds familiar? Rashomon Gate, once a majestic symbol, now a playground for thieves and a dump spot for corpses. It's like a mirror reflecting both the physical decay and the moral decline in society. So, as we unravel the layers of Rashomon, think about the bigger picture. It's not just a gate, it's a story echoing the transient nature of societal achievements. It's a reminder that civilizations like the ages in Greek mythology have their own cycles, and the Rashomon Gate stands there, a silent storyteller of the rise and fall, asking us to reflect on the ticking clock of time. Now, why does this matter? What do you think? I think it's because it taps into a universal theme, the impermanence of civilizations. It's saying, hey, just like in Greek myths, societies have their ups and downs. The Rashomon Gate becomes this tangible symbol, a metaphor for civilizations rising and falling. And guess what? This hits home, no matter where you're from. Next, let's talk about the struggles of our main man, the servant. He's dealing with societal decline, unemployment, and the raw need for survival. It's like Akutagawa handed him the everyman badge, making him the face of all of us navigating life's uncertainties, especially during tough times. Now, here's the cool part. The everyman isn't just a Japanese thing, it's a global phenomenon. Think about Franz Kafka, the European literary maestro. His characters like Joseph K. in The Trial or Gregor Samsa in Metamorphosis, if you have heard about that, it's a good story. Face absurd challenges just like our servant, It's like they're all part of this universal club of ordinary folks dealing with the weirdness life throws at them. So why does the everyman archetype hit us right in the feels? I think it because it taps into the common human experience. Whether you're reading Japanese literature, European classics, or anything else, the everyman becomes your literary BFF. You connect with their struggles, their dilemmas, and it's like, hey, I've been there too. So Akutagawa was a genius in this game. By painting the servant as an everyman, he's not just telling a story, he's giving us a mirror. The servant's journey becomes this bridge between different literary traditions, showing that, hey, no matter what you're from, we're all in this together. So, facing challenges, seeking meaning, and trying to make sense of it all. Now, when we talk about the old woman in Rashomon, we can't ignore the crone archetype, Crone, the crone archetype. It's this cool concept that pops up in different cultures and mythologies. Now, take Baba Yaga from Slavic folklore, for example. She's this supernatural crone associated with the wisdom and transformation. So, does it sound familiar? Well, our old woman in Rashomon is in good company. Now, then there are the Greek fates or Moirai, who are like the OG crones. They weave, measure, and cut the threads of life. Their wisdom goes beyond mortal understanding, and they control destinies. See the connection? The crone archetype is all about wisdom and fate, just like our old woman in Rashomon. To zoom the old woman role in the story, the pulling out the hair of the dead to make wigs, yeah, it's pretty gruesome, but hold up, there's a method to the madness. This unsettling act serves as a revelation of the harsh realities of survival. It's like the crone archetype's playbook, revealing hidden truths even if they're uncomfortable. Our old woman might not be brewing potions like Baba Yaga, but her actions add a layer of complexity to the narrative. She's not just some random character. She's a crone revealing the gritty truths about the human condition in a decaying world. Now, and here's the cool part. Wisdom and transformation. Crones are all about gaining wisdom through age and experience. In Rashomon, our old woman, despite the horrifying stuff she does, shows a certain pragmatism born out of necessity. Her explanation of the deceased woman's action shines a light on the transformative nature of survival in tough circumstances. So there you have it, folks. The crone archetype in Rashomon adds this layer of complexity, tying our old woman to broader traditions and myths. Akutagawa weaves this cultural and mythical thread that enriches the story's themes. It's like peeling back layers and discovering the hidden gems beneath. And there you are. There you have it, folks. Rashomon through both Marxist and archetypal lenses. I don't know about you, but digging into the layers of this story has been like unwrapping a literary gift, full of surprises and deeper meanings. But hey, enough about my thoughts. What about yours? How did these lenses change your view of Rashomon? Drop your comments below. Let's get this conversation going. Did you resonate more with the societal critics or the timeless archetypes? I'm genuinely curious. Well, that wraps up our journey through Rashomon. If you enjoy this literary exploration, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and ring that notification bell to stay in the loop. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, happy reading and stay curious. God bless.